Awesome, awesome. Let us in the chats, in the comments. Good to see everybody. Big waves to you. Happy Tuesday. So, first of all, our numbers are unbelievable. Congratulations. So many new people coming to the Coach's Corner. We're excited to have you. And we pick a word of the day, right? And so, our word today, and this is for all the people that are getting on your nerves right now, okay? The word for today is tolerance. Tolerance. No, that's a joke. That's a joke. So I know nobody's getting on you guys, like nobody's getting on your nerves, but we are going to look at the word tolerance. And if you look at the definition, it's the ability or willingness to tolerate something, the capacity to endure something. And so I was trying to figure out, like, where am I going? Where am I going? That's why I was glad to get on this morning, because I'm like, it took me a little bit to prepare for this word, to think about it, because I just kept going back to if something's kind of unnerving you, but that's not where I wanted to go. So I came across a John F. Kennedy quote that said, tolerance implies no lack of commitment to one's own belief. Rather, it condemns the oppression or persecution of others. And I got to thinking about that, and I'm like, not everyone is going to see it Brent Palmer's way. Okay. And that's okay. That's okay. And so I've got to personally be tolerant of other people's opinions, because guess what? I've got my own opinion. And so many times, I don't know about you, but so many times I'm like, why can't they see it my way? And I could flip it around and go, well, they're probably asking themselves, why can't he see it my way? And it's like, so many times I'm stubborn, and I say it, bullheaded. All right. Maybe Larry likes that, Brenda. Bullheaded, that I want it my way. I want to be right. I want my opinion to matter more than others. I'm just being honest. I don't know if you can relate to that, but not everybody's going to see it your way or my way. And that's okay, because you've got your own opinions and they've got their own opinions. Let it be. And I went this morning because I thought about sales. I thought about the way we eat. Have you ever had anybody that's went on an eating kick a certain way and they want the whole world to change? They're like, I've found a way and everybody needs to come down my lane. And it's like, well, they might not see your opinion, your thoughts just yet. It's okay. Or even in sales, like I have people all the time, they're like, I'm so frustrated because I have tried to convince this person for the last 3 weeks to do this and they won't do it. And I'm like, that's okay. Let it go. Quit beating yourself up. Not everybody's, hey, Alan White owns his own concrete company. Not everybody's going to have a concrete driveway. Okay. I think it's more convenient, but you know what? Some people still want a dirt road. It's okay. So not everybody's going to see it my way. And I even thought about spiritual status. We split hairs so much on spiritual status. Are you this religion? Are you this religion? Are you this religion? And it's like, well, mine's the best. Well, that's your opinion, right? They have their opinion. I thought about political views. Oh, this way. And everybody needs to go this way. And it's like, well, there could be a lot of truth to that, but everybody is subject to their own opinion. So I have to be tolerant in times where I don't want to be. And my mentor says it the best. He said, you might surround me with a group of people that don't believe the way I do. And I might not ever change their viewpoint. And that's okay. But I promise you this, my conviction is strong enough. they will never change mine. And so many times we get around people and we start being tolerant of them. And before we know it, they're changing our views. So I challenge all of us to go stay firm to your views, but be tolerant of others because they too have their own opinion. So that was my thought this morning. And Andrea, it was a good word for me because when you're surrounded with people every day and you're having conversations every day and you're talking, not everybody sees it your way. And sometimes it can be unnerving. Sometimes you can have a low tolerance and go, what is wrong with this human? Right.
Well, I absolutely, sorry, I jumped the gun right there.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I absolutely don't get it when people don't see it my way because I know that I'm always right. So it's just weird when sometimes, okay, maybe that's not true, but I'll tell you, there can be times when I really will think that. So the quote that I found was that tolerance is not indifference. It is the mindful recognition and acceptance of diversity. And I don't know who said it. It says unknown. But what that had me look into is, well, how do we live by this value? Like tolerance is a value. So if this is a value that I want to tuck into my group of values that I live by, how do I tuck this one in? So that's what I looked into. How do I live with more tolerance? So first of all, embrace diversity. Understand that every single human being out there is different. And that's a great thing. Excuse me, guys. Variety adds spice to life. It makes it more interesting. I think that's what's so exciting about traveling and seeing other places, be it the town next door, is everybody's lived just a little bit different. So they see things a little bit differently and it helps us just broaden our mind. Next, if we want to be more tolerant, we've got to listen actively. So pay attention to what other people are saying. Really hearing people is going to help us understand where they're coming from and why it might look like something very different than where I'm coming from. And with that, I've got to stay open-minded. Keep my mind open to new ideas and different perspectives. I don't always have to agree, but I can be open, and that's going to help me learn and grow. Right along with that is practicing empathy. So, I'm the worst person to watch a movie with because I am a little bit empathetic. So I will climb in that movie and I am like dealing with whatever trauma they're dealing with, and I can only tolerate so much. But that's really important with the people in your life. So try to put yourself in that other person's shoes, understand their feeling and experiences is going to help me be more tolerant. With that is to judge slowly. We're all going to judge. We can't help it. Like we have to make judgment as we go through our day. Is this something I want to copy? Is this something I want to avoid? Is this something I agree with or disagree with? Like we walk through judgment every single day in our mind. And if we really want to live with tolerance, we've got to try to take a step back before we form an opinion, right? Don't lean or only focus on that initial impression because that could be misleading, and try to slow down that judgment. Listen, be empathetic, and then get to a place of judgment a little bit later. Next, communicate respectfully. So speak and act with respect, even when we disagree. So sometimes, have you ever had that? Oh, that's stupid, right? People aren't trying to be mean. They're not trying to be intolerant or disrespectful, but sometimes we can say things a little bit faster than maybe we think about it, or maybe that's just me, but kindness goes a long way in fostering tolerance. And then lastly, challenge your biases. We all have biases, right? It could be all the way down to say something as silly as what I think is an adequate dinner because of the way that I was raised versus what you think constitutes supper because of where you've been raised, right? Like such a small thing, but you think, oh, well, if I'm feeding you, we might have a very different idea of what constitutes a healthy meal. So recognize and question our own prejudices. We all have them, right? We all have them. Quinoa is appropriate and tofu is disgusting. I don't know, right? Like throwing it back in food. I like tofu just fine. But you get the point, right? Where it's things that people are like, oh no, I could never. So we've got to challenge those things inside of ourselves, acknowledge them, and then realize that that's the first step to overcoming them and becoming a little bit more tolerant.
Andrea, this was a good one. I can't believe we don't have a birthday today, but I do got to give a shout out to Carrie Ann, Taffy Satterfield, Jessica Johns, and Cynthia Fierro. I just was looking around today and I'm like, I see you guys. So thankful for all of you to be a part of this community, but we also want to see you and recognize you. So really appreciate you being on, guys. We love you. We're grateful for you. Hope you have a very blessed Tuesday out there. See you back tomorrow.
Love you guys. Have a beautiful